And we are live. Welcome back to On the King's Dime. It is Monday night. I have to check the dates. The 20th of January. Getting much closer to the end of the season now. There's only a few games to go. I've got Andy here with me as always.
Ahoy, hoy.
Ahoy, hoy. We're going to be breaking down the Sydney versus New Zealand game that happened last Friday and then the Phoenix game that happened yesterday.
Yep,
We actually went out to that game. It was a good experience, good stuff.
it was.
Don't forget, as always, you can like, share, and subscribe all the way along the bottom on Facebook, YouTube. I'll eventually take off podcast addict and iTunes until we can fix that hosting, but we'll get that up soon. And then, as always, you can give us a Patreon to give us some dollars to go towards our hosting and our stuff like that. Anything else we got to plug? Aussie's taking over the NBA. If you're into the NBA, we're doing NBA coverage. It's getting to All-Star week, as we'll just deviate and just talk about the NBA for a few minutes.
We can halfway through the season. Paddy Mills having a career year, Simmons having a career year, Ingles having a career year. So it's very, very interesting. Obviously, this is all leading up and to the Olympics, which is coming up this year. Best chance of a medal probably ever if we do get the squad selected that we are hoping for. And we've also got the Asia Cup qualifiers as well, which are predominantly NBL. Actually, they're all NBL mix, which I think are still good enough to win and get through to the Asia Cup qualifying. So it's, all there on Aussies taking over the NBA. Good following on that. So check that out.
Yeah, for sure. Just to tie it back in, what's your pick for Aussies that are going to return to the NBL next year, you reckon?
Delhi. You would think that maybe if Dengadil doesn't get another two-way contract at the end of this season, like a 10-day contract, you'd think that he may come back or go to Europe. Delhi's probably the one that's screaming at me loudest.
Yeah, maybe it's chuck a sneaky tenner on Thon Maker.
I think the Blake Griffin scenario and the lack of power forwards in the next draft would probably give Thon a bit of a stat. If they trade Drummond, Blake Griffin's out, Thon's kind of been there. I think he's just going to be deep bench rotation for Detroit. Maybe get a 1 or 2 year deal. I think some team will sign him. But Delhi shooting 16% as a guard. It's kind of
after remaking his shot.
Yeah, after shooting career over 35% to then go to 16%, you just kind of like, and that's all. That's all, folks.
That's enough on the NBA. We're going to get straight into the Breakers game, which happened on Friday night. It was a loss.
Hold on. Let me just go get the salt. I've got to get that Himalayan pink salt out and snort that up my nose because it was the most horrible experience of my NBL life.
I should have put a salt lamp on in the background and then gave it a lick. Yeah, I think, like, how many times I reckon you could probably cut an edit of us just being like, this is clearly the worst refereeing we've ever seen in the NBL. But this, I think, by far, this game was just one of the worst refereed games I think I've ever seen. And that's like, I've had 2 days to kind of like mull it over. We ended up beating Phoenix, which makes you go, hey, whatever, we lost that game, who cares? But watching that back, that was just, wow. I just beyond words. They let the game get out of hand. There was that crazy ejection in that sequence where, Sean Bruce gets fouled, and then the ref's like letting a guy stand over Bruce on the ground. Like, if you're a ref, you get straight in there if you think the game's getting heated. But it was like they let everything escalate, and then we're just like, we'll just stand back and let things happen. Oh, things happen. We're giving calls now. Just like, just poor, really poor from that crew.
Yeah, that they are the worst crew. That, like you said, that Brill Cream dude.
Brill Cream and the Nugget guy.
Yeah, they're a little bit authoritative without actually taking hold of the game. And yeah, that instance where Ashley was standing over Bruce kind of like pushed his leg, and then he pushed Bruce.
Kicked out. Like, the thing is, right, if you're if you let a guy kind of stand over Bruce on, like, if you let him stand over Bruce for maybe 6 seconds, then Bruce reacts, I'm more likely to go, okay, that's fine. Like, if you let a guy stand over him for 6 seconds, react. Like, for example, if the play stops straight away and Bruce just gives him like one straight away, maybe you go, okay, like, hey, settle down type of thing. But I just thought, like, it was a bad call to begin with. He gives the blocking foul, and you're just standing there going, blocking foul? Like, he just got train wrecked from behind. Like, he's trying to box out, and he just got absolutely train wrecked. I don't know. I felt like the rest kind of panicked. And we're that blocking foul, I guess. Like, and it's just not a good look, man.
Half the time they weren't even looking at the ball that game. Like, there's actually a sequence where I saw Casper Ware step out of the court. He stepped out on the baseline. I could see it as a TV viewer, and it's like, "Oh, play on." I was just like,
yeah.
There's three of you there. One guy looks at the ball. One guy looks off the. Like, there's no coordination with these refs. They're all just kind of ball watching and not actually looking at anything. Or something catches their eye, like something shiny, and they're like, "Ooh, over here." Poor level of professionalism and quality.
There was JT as well. Got hit on that dunk. Yeah, that really, really good dunk over Finn Delaney. And he just gets hit on that, and the rest, like, right there looking at it, you see the replay. There's a really good shot from like the reverse camera where he picks the ball up, dunks, and you just see him just go whack on the hand, and the ref's like, and you're just like, what? Like, it's a foul. But I don't know. So we should go back a little bit to the start where we didn't have Bogut. And that was interesting to start the week off. Like, I think it was Thursday. Did they announce that Thursday, or was it Friday morning?
I think Friday morning for load management. A dude that plays 20 minutes a game probably just didn't want to travel to New Zealand. Like, it's...
And, you know, part of me was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. Like, I'm okay with that. But then the other part, you're like, but he plays like 18 minutes a game. Like, and then, okay, the game itself, right? That's the last time I think we go overseas. And I think, do we go to Perth down the stretch of this season?
I think so.
Again?
Yeah, once.
Yeah. So that's one less trip. Okay, I'm all right with that. 7-footer on a plane. You don't necessarily want to put a 7-footer on a plane and then bring them back in a short time to have them play 2 games. Okay, I get that. Should he have travelled? Okay, maybe he's not going to travel. I don't know. It's just a bit of a strange one to me. Like,
I think he travels, I think he travels, and if they need him, he gets on the bench and he's ready. You don't play him if you don't need him, but there were certain times that game where we really needed someone to operate or run the offense at the elbow, because you could definitely see when Kickett goes to playing that traditional center role, his productivity just falls off a cliff.
Yeah.
But when he kind of plays the center role defensively and a stretch for offensively, he's like, all right, this clicks. But you kind of need to have Cooks in there for that, or Moller when he's not there, and that works quite well. I think Cooks actually plays the 5 quite well, and he played quite well this game, I thought.
Yep.
But just some of the rotations, some of the Jordan Hunter experience, he just doesn't look like he's played with his team at all.
For sure, man. Like, I explained, like, when we were at the game, man, like the feeling, like the first thing that comes to your mind when in those Jordan Hunter minutes, which is like, whoa, like, no wonder he hasn't been playing. Like, just, he looked like out of sorts, didn't know where he was meant to be. Copped that huge elbow to the face, like,
yeah,
on that drive, didn't get a call. I think he even got called for the blocking foul on that. It's like, what? But I think you watch his footwork and his just awareness, and it's not quite there, man. It's not really even close to being that level.
And I think that is a big result. It's hard to come off a bench and play games when you're not really part of the team. It's kind of like deep bench rotation. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, you come and slot in now. He's like, oh, I don't know where things are coming from. Don't really have a pass-first point guard except Sean Bruce. I'm playing in lineups with Ware. I'm not screening properly. Like, he would be the perfect guy to set a good, solid screen. And that was as well with that bloody ref salt, man. You can't set a solid screen because they call you for an offensive foul.
Kickett kind of sets some dodgy ones, and you're like, yeah, okay. But then, like, the dodginess keeps getting out of control until they call a bunch, and you're just like, yeah, what? Like, you're letting them go, and now you're calling them, like, stop this. Anyway.
Yeah, there's no... But, I mean, all a guy has to do is kind of flop to the side, and it's like, oh, it's an offensive foul. You're like... And some of the defensive, they're still moving and flop backwards. And I think Sean Bruce is notorious for this one. And we get the call. It's like, that's not a charge. You're not taking a charge. You're still moving. It's a moving part. You're not anyway.
Yeah, no, I think you got to practice what you preach too, because we're also proponents when we watch these charge fouls. We're just like, that's not a charge. Like the guy, that's bad defense. The guy tried to get in front of him, couldn't, falls over, and then like, why are we rewarding this? And you're right, Sean Bruce does that a fair bit, gets away with it. And to tie it back into the Kickett thing, there was no bench, like the impact that Sean Bruce and Kickett have off the bench. You watch those two guys come off the bench and you're just like, oh, here comes a little two-man game with Kickett and Bruce. Like Kickett started and then came off when Bruce was on, and you were like, there's no spark, there's no pop, where did that go? And then you're like, Kickett's on the bench and Hunter's sort of playing some minutes, and there's a few sort of like Xavier Cooks with Sean Bruce lineups where, we saw it in the Phoenix game and they ran a little bit of a nice screen and roll action, but in this New Zealand they didn't get any screen, like there was barely any screen and roll action at all.
I agree, and the problem with the Phoenix as well is their mid-range operators, and that not Phoenix in the Breakers game, they're mid-range operators, and I don't think that suits Kickett's style of play. It doesn't really suit Bogut's style of play, but you can go to Bogut more on the offensive block. But there was a lot of soft calls in this game. There was a lot of poor game flow minutes, like you were talking about this beforehand. How long did that third quarter take?
Yeah, 34 minutes for a 10-minute quarter. That was insane. I was just sitting there, and 7 minutes in, they were both teams were in the bonus. 3 minutes into the quarter, 7 minutes to go, both teams were in the bonus. And you're just like, what? And then Ashley got tossed. And like that was when both teams had, like, there was 10 fouls already called in the quarter. He got tossed. It was just like, what are you guys doing? And that I feel like that disrupts our rhythm, man. Like you watch us, we like to play a nice, fast, open, rhythmic game. Like when the game starts to really sort of grind to a halt is when you watch us, we can't really score, we push the ball, and it's kind of like fake pushing to stop and set something. Then when we set something, there's nothing really happening because we don't have a mid-range shooter. Diddy played all right in this game. Newley was kind of just went AWOL as well in this game. He's had a couple of these games recently where he just goes AWOL.
Just goes missing. It's just like, Brad, pick the ball up. Just run. Get the foul. Get to the line. But just kind of goes into quiet Brad mode, and it's
did you watch on the telecast, right? Did you like the vibe, like the full on rec center style vibe?
Oh man, the Liverpool, just down at Menai Basketball Club.
Yeah.
Where were they?
I liked it, man. I was like, this is cool. Like New Plymouth, I think it was, yeah.
Where's that? Where's that in New Zealand?
Somewhere in New Zealand.
South Island?
Should I Google it? Just to show
you got
my
to Google
preparedness.
It. Yeah.
But I like that, man. And you could hear Will Weaver through the entire thing, North Island.
Oh, it's North Island. Okay.
You could hear him, the base of Mount Takarangi. No, Takarangi. That's clearly a football player. Mount Taranaki. There you go, eh? Because I'm pretty sure they had some photos of them climbing that mountain. They also, so one thing I wanted to say was, you hear Will Weaver going all the way through this game. The amount he whinges at the refs too, I was like, he's my soulmate, man. Hearing him, he's outside the cylinder. He's outside the cylinder. Setting screens and stuff like that. He likes to whinge about that. The other thing too, I was thinking about, this team feels more like a spiritual beast than just a basketball team. You could feel like this is 15 dudes on an emotional journey to find their basketball soul. How much does it feel like that? You don't see it come out in their basketball. They're not a hustle team. We're not like a purist type of team. It feels just like we lose games and it's like, that's all right. We'll just go to the temple and meditate and we're all good after that. We'll come out and play a better game next time.
Yeah, I think it doesn't get to them as much. And I think, but in saying that, no Bogut. He's getting a little bit Andrew Gaze in terms of his lineups as well.
A little bit, yeah.
Pulling pieces out, putting pieces in, not having consistent lineups. I think that's kind of detrimental. You look at some of the teams that potentially don't have the deepest lineups, but have decent rosters, and they're best playing like a 7 to 8 man rotation, maybe with some late second quarter, injection of minutes from a shooter or a hustle guy, or like, Deshaun Taylor get out there for 3 minutes at the end of the second quarter and make hassle. But he's literally pulling people in every minute of the game. I don't think that is great for chemistry, and I think that will ultimately hurt us. We should hurt us in the playoffs and the finals. And I think we should start getting our shortened lineup together now and start seeing how much we can blow teams out by with a shortened rotation to make sure that we're ready for it. Because if he's going to play this style in the final, it could really come back to bite everyone.
It's I still look at these lineups, man, and there's some of them you're like, there's only one scorer out here, man. You know what I mean? And then they'll switch it and just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, put in two scorers. You're like, we've only got two scorers in this lineup, and then it's like they'll bring another guy out and you're just like, we're back to one scorer again. Like, what the hell are these lineups? Like, you got Cooks, who's not a predominant scorer, although he had 4 of 9 in this game. He played quite well. Kick it, you kind of got a set wrinkle offense for. Sean Bruce likes to run pick and roll. He was 0 of 6 in this game. He didn't have a great game. Only had 1 assist as well. And then like DT, you don't really want shooting the ball, although he was 3 from 3 in this game. He had a couple of nice sort of drive and finishes and then hit a 3, but he's not dedicated offense. You're not going DT, get out there and get us some buckets type of thing. Casper Ware continued his poor shooting form, 2 of 12 from 3, 16%. Shot 22 shots. That's probably too many shots, man. Like dish a few shots around. Brad Newley's got to get more to the hoop as well. He only had 1 of 2 3 points on the night. And then JT, 7 of 12, slipping, mate. 58%. It's not good enough. It's unacceptable for JT.
Yeah, unacceptable. 22 points, and gets fouled out in the late in the third, I think, or early in the fourth.
Yeah, I think it was early in the fourth. And watching a lot of the video, because I've been doing those videos. Shout out if you haven't watched our videos. We've got some breakdowns on our defense. We've got some offense videos coming. But watching that footage, man, he gets some dumb fouls, like crazy stuff where he switched out on the perimeter, he's got to guard someone, and then he just gets a bit aggressive and it's a foul. And you're just like, oh, if you could avoid, I reckon you could cut out maybe 2 fouls a game if he was less aggressive. But then it's in his nature to be that spark plug aggressive guy, and that's how he plays. So you just go, oh, I got to accept it. In a 5-foul league, it's like brutal, man. Because 2 of those fouls against New Zealand were just like not fouls. You just, oh look, Ty Wesley, Scotty Hobson puts his head down straight into Tate, and then they just call it, and you're just like what the hell? And then Sean Bruce will go into someone, and then just like, nah, clean play, mate, clean play, and you're just like, but Scotty, Hobson's getting these calls, like what the hell? Yeah, and he for all intents and purposes, he had a 30-point game, 13 of 26, man. He did a lot of their offense, but then kind of let Jared Weeks and Rob Lowe shoot those daggers at the end that kind of killed us.
Yeah, they kind of got hot down the stretch, and Ware just went super cold. Super, and then didn't realize he was cold, tried to shoot himself back into form, and then by that stage we lost the game. Instead of dialing up some offense for kick it, or setting some pin down screens, or doing anything other than let's just go Casper ISO for the last 3 minutes. And you know what, it works half the time, but half the time isn't good enough. You need a better initiative down the stretch, and yeah, this was a bad game to watch.
Yeah, it was not a good game. Just before we move on to the Phoenix game, what did you think of Finn Delaney? Played 36 minutes. That's a lot of minutes, man. He's only a young man too. I think he's only 18, only 20 or 21.
He looked all right.
Yeah,
solid player. A little bit chippy.
A lot of just crazy over the backs, just destroying guys, and they're just like, great hustle, man, great hustle. And just like, yeah, it's clearly like a loose ball foul. Like, what are you talking about? They're like, oh, you really crashed the glass hard. And then like, you just bowl 4 dudes over, and then just like, oh, wow, great hustle. You got that offensive board. And just like, what? Just cleaned like 3 guys out. Like, what are you talking about? But I thought that was the kind of hustle that our team, Sydney, sort of goes, oh man, like, stop hustling, instead of just being like, we'll come out and we'll match that. We kind of don't have an answer for that, especially without Bogut there. It's kind of becomes an issue.
I think that's Moller. The hustle was Moller. That's he was the hustle guy. Just like, all right, someone's just grabbing boards and boxing dudes out and just like getting over the back and getting into people without being aggressive. And he's gone. And Cooks is kind of that, but Cooks is more of that smart rim protector, I feel. Makes the late play blocks, gets people off their shots, but isn't really like getting into people's faces.
Yeah, he's more smooth, less about aggression. He's more of a kind of smooth baller type. But he's been a pretty good addition. I thought he played quite well in this game. 2 or 5 from 3, which, he hasn't shot the 3 ball well. He almost looks like he doesn't really want to take him when he's out there. So it's good to see him shoot a couple. But yeah, an awful loss. Probably one of the worst refereeing displays I've ever seen. And I'm sure we will be saying that again later down the track at some point. We'll move on to Indigenous round. We had the Kings play Phoenix yesterday. We actually went out to that game. It was a good game. Solid outing. Did it feel like the lights weren't on properly or something to you?
It did. It felt like
when
it was
we were
a bit
in the
dark.
arena. It was it felt weird. And then I was
felt
watching
like,
the replay. It was bizarre. Sorry.
Yeah, on replay, what was it like live on?
No, it was like real burnt looking. Like some lights are blown out or something. It was kind of strange. Didn't feel like that was always like that when it was
it kind of felt like
watching the footage.
Instead of a basketball game, it was very much kind of a play. It kind of looked like the lights were not really
stage. It was the majestic ballet of the NBL.
It was a good game though.
Yeah.
It was a good game. I think the Phoenix played well to a certain point, but I mean, you can only go to Robertson so much in that game. Dane Pinot did exactly what Dane Pinot should be doing, which is nothing. I didn't realize how solid Ty Wesley was. He's a unit.
He's a beast. Yeah, he's a beast.
Absolute unit. But, it was funny. Some lineups, they'd have like 4 on the floor with just Robertson as a shooter, and you could just this team wasn't quite built correctly. And maybe that's just out of necessity, but it didn't seem like it was built. And I think maybe they were just having some Mitch Creek spectaculars earlier on in the season, which took them to all those wins. But I think everyone's figured out how to negate the fact. But that Robertson down screen, killed us at times again, and we should be doing exactly the same thing for Casper Ware, we just don't. And that's exactly how he killed us in the final series last year, was the down screen. And he likes to shoot off down screens as well. He likes to almost create the same shot as Robertson, but we're just like, nah, man, you're just gonna have to run round and shoot round the corner, which is not really him. He's kind of a front shooter as opposed to a curl shooter. Because we really only have one curl shooter in the league, and that's kind of Chris Golding. Really.
Yeah, Kevin Lish is kind of like that as well. He loves to turn the corner left and shoot that jumper. But Casper loves to run into the man, and we watched it live, and we're just like, nobody gets up high and lets him run into these threes. We saw it, he had that 34-footer, crazy, sort of stepped into that one. He stepped into another one that was kind of on the logo, and yeah, spoiler alert, watching these videos, man, watching these clips, you just watch, he gets no high action at all, and then the Phoenix love to run high action for Roberson, man. The amount of intricate stuff they run, Creek will come up screen, Magin will screen, then Pinot will screen, and we just got rinsed by it, shredded by it in the first quarter and the second quarter. When you watch Ty Wesley, does it make you feel like some of our guys don't have the same kind of touch around the basket? He's got such silky smooth, it doesn't matter, he can get to about 8 feet and then get off his feet and still kind of roll the ball in with a little floater or a scoop or something. I feel like our guys at the rim, unless it's Newley who gets right to the cup, or Didi Lozada who off of 1 foot can finish with 2 hands, but a lot of our, and just DT, a lot of our guys just haven't barely any touch around the rim.
Watching Jay Short Tate's rim game and around the rim, I probably haven't seen
that's that's more post oriented. I'm thinking more scoops and floaters and stuff like that. Even Casper, man, I saw, sorry to cut you off. I saw there was a screenshot in the thread, the Facebook thread, where all of our buckets were at the rim, and then all of them were at the rim or threes, and all of the breakers or all of the I keep switching them up. It's late and I'm tired. The Phoenix had heaps of elbow and 8, 9, 10 foot shots, where ours were all at the rim. So it just goes to show, man, we don't have that jump shooter.
It's not. I think a lot of the teams have looked at percentages and looked at it's a very NBA style of play. It's okay, you either get into the post and you get the high value, or you take the lower value shot but you step out to the 3-point line. Because in today's modern game, you want to be about 40% from the 3. But if you take a step in further, you're only increasing your percentage by 3 to 4%. So you're not actually getting the value for money. You're much better running action for 3 and taking the greater risk for the greater reward, and only losing 2 or 3%. And so you're actually going to gain more. And you look at really good teams in the NBA, and it's Golden State Warriors be one of them. You look at their threes, and there's probably a little bit more of a mid-range game in the NBA, but a lot of it's in the post or it's outside the arc. You could probably say the same for Philly. You could say the same for the Lakers in many respects. It's guys getting to the rim, float games in that 3 to 7 feet range. That is the statistical analysis around best value for money, and how are we going to use that shot value and create shot value. The problem with that is that if you have an off night shooting out from the 3 line, you're just going to lose games.
Yeah. And then we were absolutely howling it last night. We were killing it. I think we were at one point we were like 11 of 17. It was crazy. We were shooting 60% from 3.
You got to win those games. That's the realism of it. But you're also going to have off nights like you go to New Zealand. We shot like absolute dog turds. 2 from 12 from Casper. I think none from 1 from Pickett, 2 from 5 for Cooks. So you're just going to have turd games, and you're going to lose those games. And we didn't even lose by that much. It must be said, and that's mostly because Jayshawn Tate is such a high percentage player around the rim and in the low post. It's ridiculous.
Man, he's so good to watch live. Like just watching his footwork, the way he gets a step on guys and just uses his meat to get around guys. Man, it's nuts. Opened with that sweet Euro, and I had a couple of lobs. Like they were running like actual pick and roll. Like I put in my notes here when I was rewatching the game. Like we were running like proper pick and roll with Sean Bruce. Like there was 3 lobs in this game. Lobs, so good. More lobs, man. We need to run more of those lob plays.
I think Diddy had a fantastic game this game, Southeast Melbourne game. Definitely probably one of the players of the game for my liking. Just looked silky smooth. Looked like he's defensively was running everyone off the line. And they were getting into tough areas, and that's good. He's using his length. His English seems to be coming along quite nicely as well.
Yeah.
Well, some of the videos.
Choice swear words.
Choice swear.
I think there was one like really early on where he like said like he tweeted out some F-bombs, and everyone's like, his English is coming along great. But he was really good actually. It was good to see him sort of he's been a little bit under the radar as struggling a little bit, almost kind of in his shell somewhat. Like you're not looking at him sort of pre-season Diddy, like where it was just taking the league by storm type of thing. It was a little bit of a worry, but it was good to see him have just a really solid outing. 6 of 7 from the field, 8 of 11. Sorry, 8 of 11 from the field, 6 of 7 from 2, 2 or 4 from 3. He knocks a couple of threes down, and then he gets into rhythm.
Yeah, I think as well, maybe his body's starting to feel a bit better. He's had a few injury runs, maybe being a little bit more protective, but he looked heaps bouncier in that game. Looked like he wanted to get to the rim, get high up, get the dunks, get to the baseline and cut more. So maybe that's it. Maybe we're just seeing a stronger body on show.
Daniel Kickett again, 2 of 2 from 3, very solid. 4 of 5 from the field. He had 12 points.
Good back down.
18 top scored. Sorry.
Good back down Kickett as well. Got into the post a fair bit and scored the ball well. He's efficient.
Yeah, I felt like we were searching that Roberson matchup a lot, which was good.
Yeah, definitely.
Newell's also played well, I thought. Like, how much we're watching the game, we're sitting there and we're going, dude, like, get out and run. Like, Melbourne want to play like this kind of sort of low block style game. Like, the amount of times like we'd just kind of dribble the ball up half speed, just like get out and play fast, man. Like, run against this team. Especially with like guys like Adnan. Whoa, off the bench, he played actually pretty well. He had 17 points. But then off like defensively, like you just rinse him, man. He's so small. I think we had Diddy score in the post over him and gave it the old like low. You're too small to guard me. And then Mitch Creek. We should go back to Mitch Creek really quickly. He just looks gassed, man.
He looks tired. He just looks too many minutes. This is the flip side if you don't have a deep bench, is that you pay your main guy and he plays too many minutes each game and looks gassed and didn't really shoot. They didn't really run a lot for him, but I think Ben Madgen had a better game. He's looked pretty terrible up until Sunday. Looked like a little bit more of a pure scorer, which is what he's kind of known for, what he was known for back in his Sydney days. but they haven't really got much.
Absolutely flying with 9 points, 3 of 8 from the field.
Imagine.
But that's man. Compare that to how he's been this season. That's a solid note for him on this season's numbers.
Yeah, some of the shooting this season. Oof.
Yeah, from a few teams, really. Like, I've watched a few teams where you're just like, some of the shooting from these guys is just, they're really struggling. Seaware, 4 of 10. At one point, I'm pretty sure he had 3 missed field goals, and there were 3 out of the 5 missed field goals at the start of that game. Where I think we were 9 of 15, and 3 of them were Casper's misses.
And they were bad shots.
Bad shots, man. I don't know what to do, man. I'm looking at this footage and watching it, and I'm just going, we just don't run the right shit for him. Right? It just doesn't work, man. He loves to just step into these threes and run into these threes, and we don't but you can't. Like, you watch our lineup, you're either making Tate do a lot of work, and then he's probably going to pick up more fouls. Kick it, picks up a lot of fouls, and he's way too slow. And then Bogut's just way too slow. And whenever Bogut's kind of arriving late, you give it to him to handle. And I don't know. I don't think we're going to see the best. Like, I don't think it's going to work. Like, we're not going to see it. I don't think we're able to do it with this team.
I think it could be a Cook's lineup where Cook sets the high down screen and plays the 5 in dying minutes when you want a better offensive option, because that's where you really want to dial Casper up to. You don't really want to dial him up on these breakdown ISO plays at the 2 and 10 o'clock, and he's just not shooting his absolute best shot, which has happened a lot this season.
Yeah, he's shot some absolute garbage too. But some of that garbage is on him. I reckon maybe 15, 20% of his garbage shots are just like, he's trying to get himself going, and that's scary, man. When it comes to playoff time, I don't want to see it at all. Like, I want to see him just go, right, I'm not going to try and get myself going shooting bad shots. I'm going to try and get other people going. Yeah. Because he's so solid. He's so adept. Like, we watched it and we were making comments like, the amount of times he'll drive, be able to just bump a guy and then finish. And, like, he does it so effectively against bigger guys. Maybe, that's taking the gas out of him maybe a little bit. It's a little bit too taxing. But, yeah, man. I'm not going to go too far in depth because I'm going to do a video on it. But,
Yeah. All right, let's get to...
there was nothing else from that Phoenix game. It's a good outing. Good win.
Good outing. Good win. Good vibe. Good atmosphere.
38 seconds of garbage time. It's pretty good.
That's it, mate. Yeah.
All right, MVPs. I haven't even thought about MVPs.
This is a hard one for New Zealand. I think you're going to have to go Tate 3.
Have I missed games? Nah. Cairns was the last one we did, wasn't it?
Yeah. Tate 3. Cooks 2.
Hold on, I just got to get this ready. I'm a bit behind on my duties. Sorry. Go start again.
Yeah,
so against New Zealand?
Yeah, Tate 3, Cooks 2, Lazada 1. I just can't give it to Casper at 2 from 12. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's not. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Who was for 1? Sorry.
Lazada.
Yeah, I'll go the same. It's just like tipping. And then for the Phoenix game, tough. It's tough.
Lazada 3, Jay-Sean Tate 2, and Ware 1.
See where. What am I? I like Newley, man. I'm gonna go Newley. I thought Newley was pretty good defensively. He was really good as well, and then Luzada, and then Kick It. Because I thought Kick It was pretty solid too. He's starting to feel like one of those guys where you just like feed a set, bang, he's going to knock this down. Sweet.
Yeah,
we need that. I think we're going to need that in the playoffs.
Yeah, we're going to need some
shoot a lot of important shots.
Yep.
Are we in round 15 or 16?
Is this not round 17 coming up?
Yeah, I think this was round 16. Why am I 1 round short there? That's weird. Anyway, we'll move to tips, week-to-week predictions.
How'd you go last week?
I had 3. The Kings stung me, and then the 36ers and the freaking Melbourne, man, just got smashed. They lost by like 30 points or something against the Breakers. What is going
Jeez.
on, Melbourne? Killing me. Why you do this to me?
What happened?
All right. I'm
How many
just.
tips did I get then?
Oh, 4. You got 4, bro.
Okay, one more. All right, cool.
4. You got Cats, Bullets, Breakers, Kings. I'm just going to go to the fixtures real quick just to double check I got them right. All right. Southeast Melbourne at Brisbane. Brisbane. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. This Southeast Phoenix team, they're kind of out. Brisbane are like, they're chasing a final spot. They're really in with a sniff. If Melbourne drops down, yeah, all right, I'm going Brisbane as well. Kings at the Hawks.
Kings.
On the 24th. Kings. We'll probably just lose that game again, eh? That was such a random game, that other game we lost.
Is that on Friday night?
That is Friday night at Wynn.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Should we take a journey?
Nah, I can't get down there in time.
What time's the game start?
7:30.
Yeah,
I'd have to go home and then go down. Bullets at 36ers. Sorry, hang on. Yeah, Bullets at 36ers.
I'm gonna go Bullets.
30. Man, that's a big game. Bullets on a back-to-back too. Oh man. Oh man. I'm going. Because both of those teams
sitting on 11 wins.
On 11 wins. So we've got Melbourne on 11, Brisbane on 11, New Zealand on 11, Adelaide on 11, and then Southeast Melbourne pretty much out of it on 9. They've got to pick up 2 wins. Oh, 1 win rather in their fixture at least. In their one.
I might change that. Go to 36s. I think it's going to be tough on a back-to-back.
Yeah. Oh damn.
Yeah.
I'm on 36 as well. Or did you say Brisbane to start with? I don't know.
Yeah, I said Brisbane to start with.
So you changed it to 36s.
I am.
All right, New Zealand at the Perth Wildcats. Man, the Breakers are just like suddenly can make the 4. It's crazy.
I'm going to go Breakers.
The hell? It's just nuts.
I'm going to go Breakers with hope because if they beat the Cats, then we're more likely to get a home final. So,
yeah, I'll go Cats then just to kind of hedge on getting some distance back up in the tipping. All right, Cairns at Southeast Melbourne.
Cairns.
Yeah, I'm going Cairns as well. And then United. Well, no, aren't we away at the Phoenix? No, we're at home against Melbourne on the 26th.
Yes, we'll say yes to Melbourne.
We'll say you get Melbourne.
No, yes to Sydney.
I was gonna say what's going on there. I almost tipped the. Who did we play last week that we lost? The Breakers. Nah, I almost tipped the Breakers, but then I didn't. All right, that pretty much wraps it up.
Sweet.
Another week in the books, getting much closer to finals time. Yeah, man, it's coming to the end of another season.
It is. We should quickly just preview the Hawks and say that that's probably our bogey team, and I think we're going to have to be on song to beat them, especially down in Illawarra on a Friday night. At least it's not too far to travel, but Bogut's actually got to turn up that game because I think the Bogut-Boone rivalry as well as Ogilvy is pretty good. But we just got to hope that Conrad just doesn't get hot.
Yeah, they're coming off 5 back-to-back losses.
Yeah,
so I think they're going to be fired up for a win. Yeah. Blanchfield just seems to play really well against us. It's crazy.
That's
I
it.
watched him the other night and he was just absolute trash. And I was like, Todd, what's going on? Like, where's this when you play against us, man? The hell. And then, yeah, this Melbourne game, man. What do you reckon?
I think if we beat them, I genuinely think Melbourne don't make the 4.
Yeah. There's a chance. There's 4 teams breathing down their necks. Like, you look at this, like I said before, Melbourne, Bullets, Breakers, and Adelaide all on 11 wins. And I think Melbourne has this feel this year of just like, oh, the lights are going to get too bright. And then, oh, no, we've just missed the playoffs. Like, how did that happen, guys? Like, it doesn't feel like it's the same team anymore, right?
Yeah, it just feels to me like the Sean Long,
He's too much of a
Machado.
net negative, man.
Yeah,
Because
just they're not.
like defensively, he's just too much of a negative. And then, like, the upside on offense isn't really there. In my
I
opinion, anyway. No,
I just don't like. I don't like Machado at all. You look at him. It's just.
Oh, you mean Mellow Trimble?
Sorry, Mellow Trimble. I am getting tired. No, I do like Scott Machado. That's wrong. I do like Machado. I'm getting
I
those
do
two
like
mixed up.
Machado. Says the guy who's clearly called the Breakers the Phoenix, and the Phoenix the Breakers like 8 times tonight.
Yeah, I don't like Mellow Trimble.
I don't.
It's just
I,
one of
don't
the,
I rate him, but it's like there's something about it. You watch it and you just like something not right here. Like, and then like you pair that with Long shooting jumpers, and you're just like Long, like what? Just dunk the ball, man. That's all you need to do is stand there and dunk the ball. But you know. And then does Golding feel like a bit beta? Like I'm staying away from this drama. I'm just gonna jack up shots. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't feel like a sorry. Yeah.
Well, he's kind of like a third string elite player when really he should be the focus of that team.
But it doesn't like you watch him. I watch him play, man, and he's like a silent assassin out there. It's weird. Like you know, like sometimes he gets a bit like, "Come on, boys, let's do it." But like a lot of the times he's just kind of standing around, just being like, "Yeah, I'm Chris Goulding. I can hit a 3 when I want to," type of thing.
But that's what I mean. Like Trimble's kind of that weird player that flops a lot, gets a lot handsy, and then just whinges and goes off. And
most fouls in the league, 116 fouls.
That's it. Very handsy. And Long's kind of the same
in front
thing.
of Caspar, and then 8 in front of Jay Sean Tate. Sorry, yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, it's not the right lineup for Chris Goulding. Chris Goulding needs to be in a team where it's just like Damian Martin, who's a complete pass-first point guard and can find him anywhere, and they just dial up offense for him. Where Trimble and Long are just ISO scorers. You can't have 3 ISO scorers on a team, really.
Yeah, or like Sean Long is like the ultimate finisher, but he has the wrong ego. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's just like, but I want to shoot threes and I want to shoot mid-range jumpers. He's like, bro, you finish plays, you dunk. It's like he's like the opposite of Cam Oliver, where you watch Cam Oliver for the Taipans. Oliver kind of knows his place, will shoot a 3 when he's open and just like, I'll shoot one. But like knows where to be, and he's just like, if I'm going to dunk on someone, like line them up, I want to dunk on them. Whereas Sean Long just kind of doesn't, like, it's just weird. This year for him has just been bizarre. What was I also going to say about that team? Barlow has been kind of a shadow, and Mitch McCarron, man, has been awful for them. Which is last year, like his physicality, man, just torched us. He was the ultimate like greeter style. He would just come out and just be like, "I just wreck everyone here," and then you'd be like, "Shut up, Mitch McCarron," and then he'd do it, and you'd just be like, "Mitch McCarron, like what?" Whereas this year, like it just looks like he's gone. That's like Sobe mode. Like, oh, I'm really not as good as everyone here, so I'm just gonna play like I'm
the Epsilon male.
Yeah, nah, not quite Epsilon, like beta.
Beta.
So what you were saying before about he needs to play with the pass first point guard, sneaky Chris Goulding to Illawarra.
I would say
Emmett Nah and Goulding.
Yeah, although I don't think Chris Goulding would ever leave Melbourne, but yeah, could maybe to the Crosstown Rifles of South. It kind of would suit South Melbourne Phoenix a bit more to have that
Goulding
second
or
pure.
Emmett Nah.
Yeah. No, Goulding.
Would he ever go to Phoenix though?
It's the NBL. You go whatever you want.
Yeah, that's true. And then maybe like sneaky Emmett Nah to Melbourne United.
Who knows?
The aggregators will be out in full force over the weekend. The old NBL aggregators. All right, we got anything else to say?
That's it, mate. Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, as always, you can find us on Facebook and on YouTube. And we also do have a Patreon to donate some money for our hosting if you're feeling generous. Don't forget, we've got videos on YouTube too. We're doing some videos on our defensive struggles this season. We've also got videos on our offensive struggles coming. And I also wanted to make a video about how many bad calls were in this New Zealand game, but I think there's too much footage to sift through. It's going to take me hours and hours to do that.
Just watch the replay. There's enough there.
I'll just upload the entire game, and it's like, how bad were the calls in this game? And we'll be back probably next Monday to wrap up the weekend, another double game weekend. The season is drawing to a close. And as always, we will see you guys next time.
On the King's Dime.
Plug your shirt too. That's a mad shirt.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about the shirt.
Stud.
I can only see the mic, man. If you want that shirt, you can't have it.
That's it, mate.
But it's a sick shirt. All right, we'll see you guys next time on the King's Dime. Take it easy, everyone.
Peace.